and using it like a switch. As soon as you feel those negative things come out, switch on the positive things and try to find, just pick anything, little or big, it doesn't matter. Pick grateful things and just hold on to those and keep doing it, writing them down. What if these low moments in our life where it feels like we got kicked straight in the junk was actually just the next thing to set us up for something great? My name's Nathaniel Berg, and I'm the host of Kicked in the Junk podcast. Divorce, job loss, injury, or just something that we needed, and the universe telling us we need to change our course. Why can't we all learn from each other? Hey everybody, it's Nathaniel here with Kicked in the Junk. Today I'm really excited to share this podcast with you because the premise of this podcast is to show that these hard times in our life can actually lead us to something great and lead us to something amazing. Unfortunately, when we're in that low moment, it sucks and we're going through the muck and it's dirty and it's messy and it's hard to see the way out. Well, this strategy and this topic today is a topic that has helped me go through some really tough times, especially when I was, years back, and I'm going to dive into that here in a minute. But I'm really excited to share this because it's a strategy that everybody can use, and it takes moments to do, and it can change things so fast and can just set you up for the next best thing. And that's, again, the premise of this podcast, is how these low times can do that. So this tool will help you so much. I'm really excited to share it, and I hope you learn from it, because this is something that I learned 4 or 5 years ago that radically changed my life. So excited to share. And if you're at a place right now in your life where you are not sure where you want to go, or you're feeling like you just want to make some changes, but all you can see in your way, all you can see right now is just red lights, and you're not able to see anything different, and you're not able to navigate these changes that you want, whether it's in relationships or even just specifically just yourself, and you want to be a different person and you want to make moves, but you're not sure how. I'd love for you to reach out to Lifepurposefully.ca. I'd love to sit down and chat with you just to see what's going on. And even if it just was that, I would love to just see what we can do to help and give you some tidbits. There's no cost or commitment to it, but I'd love to just chat. So Lifepurposefully.ca for that. And again, we're going to be starting next week of week 5 in our 8-week meditation workshop, which I'm loving. There's a lot of really good stuff there. You can go through the videos and look at the recaps there. So I hope you've been enjoying that. And yeah, without further delay, we're going to get right into this topic today of gratitude. So this is such a big one for me because there's been a few moments and few habits, daily habits in my life that have made such a big impact. And it's not just my life that's made a big impact. It's hundreds and hundreds of other people that have done this, and we probably, hundreds, probably thousands, who knows, but it can change your life so quickly. So for me, I'm going to, just kind of set the stage at, 4 or 5 years ago, was another relationship. Just coming out of another relationship. At the time I was living with my ex. It was not a good scenario. Needless to say, we, should have split a while back, but either way, and I just started to I was starting to feel really down on myself because, here I am, okay, I'm single now and it's going to be great because I'm going to get to do all these things I want to do. And those things just weren't panning out, whether it was, the, career and, trying to get back in the dating game, which was a whole other discussion. But it was a really low time for me. And because I was stuck and we're living this scenario, and it was really awful. And so I noticed I was starting to get depressed. And I noticed I was starting to just feel really bad about myself and just continually. And that wasn't really the person I am. And so I do what most people do, or hopefully most people do, is they look up, okay, well, how do I stop this? How do I handle depression? How do I navigate this? And the first thing that popped up was a Tony Robbins video on how to navigate depression, how to actually stop anxiety and depression quite instantly. And what he mentioned was, listing and thinking of things you're grateful for, because you can't be grateful and you can't have these negative thoughts. They can't coexist in your brain at the same time. Try it. It doesn't work. And so that was actually what sparked this podcast, is realizing, what, I can put out, yes, I can help people individually, which is amazing, or I can have a video that's 4 or 5 minutes and somebody learns something from it. If it radically changes your life like it did mine, that's such an amazing thing. So again, that video changed my life because I started realizing I have so much to be grateful for. And yes, I had a bad living scenario when I was not feeling good about myself because I was recently, single, and dating was not going well at all. But then I started changing things to say, well, what can I be grateful for? And I started looking around. So what I started to do is, again, not just looking around for what I was grateful for, but writing them down. And it's an easy tool I took every day, and it took me 5 minutes. But I encourage you to do it, is just look around. If you're not sure what you're grateful for, look at your own body. Do you have 2 hands? Be grateful for that. There's a lot of people that don't have 2 hands. Or do you have 10 fingers? Can you see? Can you breathe? Can you eat? Can you, wipe your own butt without having anybody help you? There's people that can't do that, so be grateful. And not just, grumbling, but truly realize like you can be grateful for these things. And I'm not saying it's going to fix all your problems, but it's going to allow you to see things in a different light. I've heard a term, and it was, you can't, of course, the world looks like shit when you're wearing shit colored glasses. So what do? You take off the glasses. Well, that's what this is doing, is there's still going to be problems. You're still going to have struggles. You're still going to have to find solutions to things, but it allows you to see things more clearly because you're taking off those ugly glasses, and you're looking for the positive things, and you're looking for these good things. Not only that, just working, as a practice, so doing it every day and writing it down, then you get it wired in your brain. So now, instead of your brain constantly, if you're one of those people that are constantly looking for the negative side, and you're constantly trying to pick out and find, well, I can't get that job because this, and this, or that person won't date me, or, talk to me because this, and this, or I can't start my own business because of these negative reasons. Your brain gets wired to doing that. And that becomes a habit. It becomes so ingrained that you might not even realize you're doing it, but other people might see it. So this is a great way to change that, because now when you start putting your focus on what is good that's out there, what good things that you have, and it may not, again, it doesn't necessarily fix your problem, but it puts you in a state of mind that allows you to see those things, that allows you to see those solutions when they come up. I find it so easy that I've been there myself, is where somebody brings us a solution, you're like, oh, but again, in that, especially in that space and time, when I wasn't feeling good about myself, oh, no, I can't do that, or I can't do this because of whatever reason, versus looking at the positives and finding those, things to be grateful for. So, again, it changes how your brain works. And interestingly enough, now when you're being grateful, not only just how your brain works, but you're actually releasing more serotonin, because now you're feeling better. And now, instead of having those negative thoughts, because negative thoughts can change our structure, right? It can, if you're having negative thoughts, say if you're thinking about fighting somebody, or in a fight, or a verbal fight that you had, or whatever, it releases cortisol, and that's going to cause you to, have a reaction that way, go into fight or flight. So if you have those positive, right, or those, grateful moments, and thinking of just things that you're grateful for all the time, and using it like a switch, as soon as you feel those negative things come out, switch on the positive things, and try to just pick anything, little or big, it doesn't matter, pick grateful things, and just hold on to those and keep doing it, writing them down. Now you're changing, now you're allowing your body to produce, go back into that rest and digest, and not into that fight or flight. And in that fight or flight, it's good, has a purpose, but if we're there all the time, it's going to cause some issues. It's going to cause us not be able to digest food very well, and it can increase inflammation when we're stuck there. So allowing yourself to be in that rest and digest, which helps, again, for digestive tract, which helps for any reproductive organ, things there. So allowing us to, having that gratitude, not only does it change what we see and how we think, but those thoughts actually can change our body. So this is such an amazing and easy practice that, again, you can literally do anywhere. I started first by just driving into work. When I was driving to work, I would just literally, as soon as I hit the parking lot, because it was a long parking lot, I would list 4 or 5 things in my head that I'm grateful for. Just continue just listing in my head, and sometimes saying them out loud, and then I started writing them down. I did it for 4 or 5 years. And even now, before this, I wasn't feeling good about myself. I was just kind of going, why am I doing this podcast? And why am I, I was hoping for more right out the gates, but I go back to one, my why, and that's, we've talked about before, but just realizing I have so much to be grateful for, right? And that I can make these changes, and, and even if one person listens, that was the whole model of this. Even just one low time can make a difference, and even one person just listening is good enough for me. So, I hope this helps you. I hope that you use this, and don't just brush it off as, oh, well, I can't do that, because anybody can. If you have thoughts in your brain, you can do this. You can put things aside. You can again, fit it into your day. Do it multiple times a day if that's what it takes. This makes such a huge difference. So I just want to share this with you. Again, this podcast is going to be a little bit shorter in between these interviews that I'm doing, because I feel like this is just so valuable, and honestly, it's made such a big impact in my life and allowed me to, eventually find the person, my person that I was supposed to marry, and that I did, and that, that Emily's just been just the better than I could ever expected. Going from that, recently single and hard times to having this person now, but I definitely credit to this amazing person in my life. I credit to me being grateful and having gratitude and constantly going back to gratitude. And even when we have fights, or even when, things are, there's something going on, going back to gratitude. So I hope you practice this. I hope that, that this changes your life, because it did mine, and such an easy thing to use. So, thank you so much for listening. And if you or somebody, like I said, that you've got value from this, write a review, share it with a few friends, because that helps grow this and helps to reach others that need to hear this kind of thing, and realize, one, that you can be grateful, and not just with the gratefulness, but with the whole purpose of the podcast, and learning from our lows, and learning that these lows can set us up to do something great. So again, share, review, that helps grow the podcast. And thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you. And if you want to learn more about what we're doing at Lifepurposefully.ca, you can go to the website, because we're trying to, our whole purpose now with this is we're trying to teach other people to live purposely through mindset, movement, and meditation. And there's a lot of cool things we're trying to do there with, our meditation classes. And if you want to reach out, I'd love to hear from you. And thank you so much for your time. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.